You're listening to Lore Friendly with Kris Takahashi and Alice Bell. How are you doing, Alice?
I have internet again.
Oh,
It's fantastic.
you sound different, I think. It's a different recording space.
Yeah, my room's a lot bigger now.
Yes, that was...
Which means that it is a bit more echoey.
Can we have the old room back now?
No. That was... Bad things happened, man. Bad things happened.
No, just when you need to record something, you're just like, you knock on the door, you say, hey, I used to live here, it was a good space for recording, can I just like pop in, do a few lines, pop out?
You know what, how about I just wear a blanket on my head when I'm recording lines for you? I think that'd work out just as well.
No, it sounds fine, it's just a little bit roomier.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to wear a blanket on my head, it's fine. It's nice, it's a nice place.
Yes. Outside
I'm
of
warm.
like voice acting stuff, having a bigger room is just much nicer in general.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I can have my bookcase in here, which is fantastic. I have a set of drawers, which I didn't have in the last one.
Wow.
I can put things on the windowsill.
You're an elite now. You're part of the 1%.
Yes, I am. Living the dream.
You're gonna
Hear
start,
those cans?
You start voting Republican now.
Next joke.
Um,
Other changes that have occurred whilst I have been away. So, a couple of months ago, I decided to be really cool and get a helix piercing.
oh,
You can
that's
recall
right.
this.
No, we did talk about that.
Yeah, and I was unable to wear my headphones properly for about a month after that.
Okay.
Well, I went and got my other helix done.
What? Why?
And I also went and got my second lobe done for shits and gigs. Because I'm an idiot and I enjoy hurting myself, apparently.
Is your like first helix, is that like fully healed, or is it just...
It's not fully healed, it's healed to the point where I can swap the jewellery out.
Oh, okay.
So when I went back to get my helix done, I was like, also, can you give me some nicer jewellery, please? Because this don't look fancy.
It's that slippery slope. I mean, first you're just doing the earlobe, then you're doing a helix, then you're doing both helixes. I mean...
Then you're doing second lobe. Now I want my other 3 lobes done and then I'm done for piercings. I wanted them to be even. I like being symmetrical because I'm not normally symmetrical.
You wanted that balance in your life and you felt
Yeah.
like it was missing. Was it like a literal balance? Like it was like weighing one side down? Just had a
Yeah,
bowling ball
like
in
I
your
felt that
ear.
I was walking like to one side because I had a bit more weight on one side.
Your equilibrium was messed up, and so...
Yeah, so it was just for practical reasons,
Yeah.
so that I didn't fall over all the time, because I found that I was tripping over my feet a lot. But then again, I have just got one of my second lobes pierced, so I'm still heavily weighted onto one side.
And also you probably weren't sober either, so that probably contributed to your lack of balance.
No, I've never been sober, dear.
Maybe it wasn't the ear piercing. Maybe this just isn't going to rectify anything. You're going to discover that it was the drinking that caused you to fall.
Yeah, well, we'll find out when it heals.
Yeah.
I have noticed that I've been walking a little bit straighter,
To be continued. We'll see.
but that's because I've not been drinking during the week. So,
see.
yeah.
Correlation does not equal causation.
Causation.
Yes.
No. Alas.
Anything
Oh,
else you
dear.
want to talk about that we didn't go over in our 2-week or 3-week absence? How long have we been out?
Well, because we bulk recorded a couple of the episodes about Jessica Jones.
Oh yeah, what
So
happened to that show?
I'm still stuck on episode 6.
Yeah.
I've not finished it yet. But due to the absence, the reason why we're doing 3 episodes at a time was because we knew that Westworld was coming out.
Yeah.
And so I thought, we're going to have loads of content anyway.
Then we missed the first week of Westworld, didn't we?
Well, we can review 2 episodes today and then just go back to 1 a week.
Yeah, that's what we were doing. So should we talk about Westworld then?
Oh my god. First things first, the opening sequence has changed.
Yes.
That was the first thing I noticed. I was like, hang on, where's the horse? Why have we got a bison? Is it a bison? I think it's a bison.
Was there a person playing the piano before? I thought it was just like the piano was going off on its own, or is that the
No,
same?
I think there were hands before.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember if there was like the mother and the child before.
Oh. Because I thought that was like, oh, now that they have like a little bit more free will or whatever, that now they're playing the piano on their own, as before it was just automated or something. I thought that was a thing.
Yeah, no,
but
it was still automated.
Oh, okay.
Like the hands came away and it was still playing kind of thing.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, so title sequence change, that was quite fun.
Yeah. So episode 1, what did you think of episode 1? I guess we should start with there. What did you think?
No, let's start with the middle of the season. So, I am glad to report that the OG OTP is still going.
Oh, Maven. What's his
Hector.
name? Hector, yeah.
They still banging.
Yeah, just jump right into that part. Let's not start with the beginning with Bernard washed up ashore.
Oh, yeah. Fine. So, Bernard started shaking about a little bit.
Well, the show isn't in chronological order anyway.
No.
But yeah.
Let's do it storyline by storyline.
Yeah, Bernard waking up is kind of like at the end of everything that's happening, right? More or
Yeah.
less. Yeah.
We think.
He wakes up on the shoreline and he's greeted by a bunch of just mercs and Floki from Vikings, the really tall guy.
Lots of angry mercs.
With the Nord. I think he's Norwegian or something because his accent sounds really off, his American accent. He's basically Floki. He's from Vikings, so it's just weird.
I did not recognize him out of the Floki getup.
Oh, yeah.
Bear in mind, I've only seen a couple of episodes, but still, I didn't recognize him.
But his voice, his inflection, I don't know if maybe I'm hearing things, but it just sounds like Floki. It sounds like Floki trying to do an American accent. It's just weird.
I think it's one of those things where, like, I can often pick up on when there's a bad English accent being done, because I have a bad English accent. Whereas
Yorkshire.
because you're from Yorkshire, love, that's a bit cockney. Apples and pears. No, it's kind of like how you're more familiar with like the American accent.
Yeah, I can pick it up.
You can
right
pick
away.
up on the nuances, and that's why I have to have you coach me through any lines that I have to do in American accent.
No, it is sort of like a bit incestuous, I guess. Like in the acting community, it's just like you see the same people from different shows, and you wonder why it's the same 50 people when there's like millions of actors out there, like yourself, who could be hired. They could have hired you instead of Floki to be the Merc lady.
Yes, they could. That would have been amazing.
Anyways, so Bernard wakes up on shore. And
basically, they're lining up the hosts and just shooting him.
But he's in like a weird position because they think he's human. He's not human, but he also sort of grew up among the humans, so he has a different kind of perspective than the other androids, right? Like
it's not like he was
enslaved,
killed. Well, he was enslaved, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
Killed on multiple occasions again and again and again, and he hasn't suffered through all the trauma that the rest of the hosts have suffered through.
Right.
Like, he's still had some fairly traumatic experiences. I mean, killing your girlfriend, that's never going to be easy, you know?
Yeah.
That's going to have a on your head.
Yeah, and plus he's, like, leaking fluid and shit, so things are, like, making him dizzy. So he's, like, physically out of sorts as well as mentally out of sorts.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so it's, like, I don't know, he's, I guess, meant to be an avatar for the viewer in a sense, because we're kind of, like, not on either side of things, right? So
we're
Bernard
sympathetic to the hosts, but some of the perspective of the hosts in this season are a little bit more skewed, which can make it difficult to empathise with them. We'll get onto that later, but...
Dolores, she's gone.
Yeah.
She's gone full tilt.
But yeah, so with Bernard, it's very much he's a neutral party, he's the audience avatar type thing.
Yeah. So I think I don't know, is he sort of like the main protagonist? Did we have a protagonist in season 1? Or is it just like everybody sort of had a role? In the creation?
Yeah, I think it was kind of like Game of Thrones, where there's multiple main characters.
Yeah.
But I'd say that the mains were probably Maeve and... Fuck, I can't remember the Man in Black's name.
Ed Harris.
William.
Yeah.
William.
Well, from the perspective of the people who are running the park, I guess Anthony Hopkins would have been the main guy.
Yeah.
And so Bernard is sort of he was more of a secondary character at the time, but then like now he's kind of been pushed to the forefront, I'd say. And it's him.
And he still doesn't know what's going on. Whereas with Ford, we knew that Ford was pulling strings and stuff.
Yeah.
Bernard, he's just completely bewildered.
Yeah. He's sort of it's just the convenient sort of leaking of fluid, convenient excuse to it's amnesia, more or less, to kind of like keep the viewer in the dark. We don't want Bernard to know everything and know what happened right away, because then that would spoil everything for the viewers. We wouldn't be able to go to the future because we would already know the past. But yeah, and then he ends up walking with the mercs. He sees sort of just like the cruelty,
lining them up, firing squads.
Shooting them. We also see him right after the sort of rebellion started, where the androids are sort of doing the same. They're killing the humans, and so we're kind of seeing both sides of just like the slaughter. And Bernard's kind of caught in between. I thought there was like a lot of violence. I know that's like an HBO thing, but man, it felt a little bit unnecessary in episode 1. It was just way...
What did we have within the first like 10 minutes? We had people getting shot repeatedly and gruesomely.
Yeah.
We had a lobotomy.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Where they cut open the skull and got the memory bank.
I'm pretty sure someone got their throat slit too. It was pretty gruesome.
A bit of throat slitting in the first 10 minutes. You know, average stuff for a HBO show.
Yeah. It was like way over the top. I'm like, I don't know if it was just gratuitous or if it's just me. I'm getting too soft, but
yeah. Well, I don't know. I think it was so gratuitous that I kind of got desensitized to it. Like, I am deathly afraid of needles. And yet, there's an injection part later on in the episode. And I was just fine with it. So I was like, I've just seen so much shit today.
Yeah. Well, after you did see a lobotomy, I mean, like a needle in the arm is hardly anything. Yeah, and then we end with Bernard sort of standing over a sea of dead hosts.
Oh, we've missed out like half of Bernard's storyline. So him and the manager lady from Delos run off. They figure out that something's a trap. And they run off and they take Bernard to the secret control hub, where we find out that they are harvesting the guest DNA from the hosts that they fuck.
Yeah.
They were literally swabbing a penis.
And that, for people who've seen episode 2, is sort of tied into what they want to do, what the park is ultimately for, which is to learn about the host. It's like Facebook, more or less. They're collecting data on its users.
It's bloody a Facebook. Yeah. But yeah, so they were using the host to take swabs and memories and stuff from the time from the guests and basically just collect all their personal data. Yeah. There were these really creepy, like, drones.
Yeah.
Which are basically the muscle structure of a host with no features, completely blank slate.
I wonder if any of the guests thought that was weird. Like, they go to Westworld, they, like, shoot up a bunch of hosts and, like, bang a bunch of prostitutes. They go home, and all of a sudden there's, like, an ad that pops up on their, like, their virtual monitor. It's like, do you like this gun? Do you?
Nah, it'd be an ad for SCI test. Come on, let's face it.
There'd be an ad for an escort service pop up and like, wait a minute. Yeah. How do they know I like butt sex, How do they know I like reach rounds and rim jobs? I never told anyone this. I did all this shit in Westworld. Wait a minute.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg.
Dinkelberg.
William.
And yeah, so Bernard's storyline ends with a sea of corpses, and guess who's dead? It's Ted. Again, it can't. It
Oh,
isn't
that's
a
right.
Westworld episode without Teddy being shown dead.
Yeah.
Is it?
No.
Let's face it.
Jumping to episode 2 real quick, I did find that hilarious when he was looking at pictures of himself dead. Like, he wasn't like freaking out that he was holding an iPad.
Yeah.
He was like, because that would be
just-
the first thing I would see. He was like, why is my face in this like square?
Why is it covered in blood?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah.
Why is it not in black and white?
Yeah. But anyways, Ted died again. Did he? I don't
Yeah.
even remember that. Oh, he was
the
in the
corpse
water.
floating. He was in the water.
Right. That's right. That's
So-
a thing now. They had a
Yeah.
commercial. Like, did you see the commercial with
No.
There's a commercial with what's his name, for like DirecTV or some shit, where he's like gets shot in the commercial and he's like, God, do we have to do this again? And he's like, yeah. And then anyways.
No,
never
I
mind.
haven't seen it, but now I need to see it. So,
Anyways, so yeah, anything else about episode 1?
we've touched on one of the storylines, Chris.
That's right.
Dolores and Teddy. Dolores has just gone full-blown Annie Oakley.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You gotta keep in
She-
mind, I watched this like 2
Yeah.
weeks ago. Yeah. This is still fresh in
Yeah.
your mind.
She looks hot as fuck. Can I just say? The whole, like, ripped skirt and things, that's fantastic.
She has not aged like one bit. It's pretty weird. But yeah, that's Hollywood. Tom Cruise is like 60. He looks the same. He's a vampire.
That's Botox for you, man.
That's right. Not that Evan Rachel Wood does Botox or anything, but she looks fantastic. Anyways.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's dragging Teddy along for the ride, and the lady host who we saw, I can't remember her name, but she was basically William's entryway
Right.
into
the tall
Westworld.
blonde lady.
Yeah. And it appears that she's becoming more and more important. But, so she's now with the rebel hosts and things, shooting people up and killing people and being submissive to Dolores, which sounds like the beginning of a really bad porno.
I missed the original Annie Oakley lady, the one who was with Hector. What happened to her?
Snake lady.
Snake lady, yeah. What happened to her? She was badass. I like that.
I think she died, didn't she?
Oh, so, I mean, she could come back. I mean, hosts die all the time.
She could.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to be putting any of the dead hosts online anytime soon.
It depends on whether she signed a contract to be on season 2. That's probably more
Yeah.
just background stuff.
But she was kick-ass.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
do miss her presence.
Yeah.
But Teddy is seeming a little bit uncomfortable with Dolores' methods.
Yeah. Well, Teddy's
He's
a good
like-
guy. He's
Yeah.
trained, or he was programmed to be a good guy, so.
And instead he's just like, well, so my girlfriend
yeah.
really wants me to kill all these people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm not super comfortable with it, you know?
Yeah, he's still just like in shock too. I mean, the
Yeah.
iPad didn't like freak him out or anything, but like, just everything else, just figuring out like what he is, and I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I'd be pretty pissed off if I found out that my whole life was a lie and I was actually a robot.
yeah, I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool. Would you really be pissed off?
Yeah, I'd be like, God damn it, I thought I came out of a vagina.
I mean, it would come as a shock. It would be like, whoa, but at the same time, I think it'd be kind of cool because like at this point, you kind of figured out like the world, like everything else is just kind of like coasting. But like if it's something new, it's something different. Like if you found out that the entire world was just a simulation, it would just, I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool. It's just,
It'd fuck me up, man.
it would be, oh, this is different. Like now, like I'm starting from zero, like knowledge wise. Like you kind of have like an understanding of how the world works, right?
Yeah.
How the universe works and like where we are in the universe and stuff like that. But then if it all resets to zero and you have to learn it all over again, that's kind of cool. It'd be kind of interesting. Like I don't know.
I know, I reckon I'd just taught myself. I'm
Now-
scared.
Now it would suck to be them because they got like an army of like 1,000 or like fucking billions of people who are probably not going to be cool with what they did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're kind of like between a rock and a hard place. But if it was us and we just woke up one day and it was on the news, like evening news, world is a simulation, we're in the Matrix, then it's like, oh, that would be kind of cool.
It would actually, wouldn't it?
It's like, oh, So
Look
so
for
who
the
made
red
it?
dress.
Like
Look
what?
for the red dress.
Yeah. So what's
I need
this
to
other
watch The
world look
Matrix.
like? What's this world of like? Who are these simulators? You know, like why did they make us? Like, can we visit their world, or are we stuck here? You know, it's just it'd be
It's
interesting.
exactly like our world, but worse.
Yeah, yeah. Are there other us's out there? Are they more successful? Can we mooch off them?
We're clearly just a failed simulation.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's that whole what you call it. There's that theory where like, so if there's like 100 different outcomes, like there's a universe where each one of those outcomes happen.
I know which one you're getting at.
Yeah, yeah. The outcome different thingy theory. Yeah, that's what it's called. The outcome different thingy theory. Coined it.
Rick and Morty.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Anyways, we're getting off track.
So that's all we can really say about Dolores and Teddy, is that Dolores has gone a bit crazy. And
Well,
Teddy ain't too happy.
So why is she so? I mean, obviously because she's been enslaved and killed and like all sorts of just like horrible things have happened to her. Is it just like she's mentally imbalanced now, or is it just...
Well, she's got different programming. She's got like 3 sets of directives in her. Because like she's got her Dolores programming. She's got her own recently awakened consciousness, and then she's also got the Wyatt programming in her.
Right.
So it's
The
all like
Wyatt stuff.
competing, so I feel like that sent her to be a little bit unstable. I mean, it's basically like having multiple personalities.
Yeah. And she's actually been asked to be like different people. Like she hasn't just been Dolores. Like Teddy's just been Teddy. That's all he knows. He knows
Yeah.
Teddy. But like she's actually been to the outside world, so she has that sort of perspective of who these people are. She has a better understanding. It's not like with Teddy or with any of the other hosts, these are gods, right? They're just gods
Yeah.
who created them. But she has an understanding of who they are and why they made the park, as well as like the motivations of Arnold as well, right? Because didn't
Yeah.
Arnold sort of like want to make her or make all the hosts sort of the replacement for the human beings?
Yeah,
some
she's
point.
like a surrogate child to him, isn't she?
Yeah. So
Which is why he feels so much affection for her. Skipping ahead on to episode 2 as we are.
so it turns out everyone's gonna die.
Woohoo! But yeah, so
Yeah, there's like some kind of
The-
disease or some shit, right?
what?
Yeah, they're all gonna die. It's like Dolores was at the party, because we're segueing from Dolores, right? So Dolores,
Oh right. Yeah.
she gets to go to these parties. She gets to see the outside world, so she has kind of perspective of like, you know, who everyone is, right?
Yeah.
And what they need to do. But she goes out to the party that she has. She plays the piano, and then she walks outside and she talks to that guy. I forgot what his name is. Dickhead, right?
Hector. No, not Hector.
Not Hector. Not Hector. That's his name. She
Not
goes out
Hector.
and sees Not Hector, and Not Hector is like drinking and somber, and he like says basically that like they're all fucked. Like the human race is going to die. I think that's what he implied, right?
I thought he meant that his dad was dying.
Oh, his name is Logan.
Oh. It's every day, bro.
Oh, he says that's the sound of fools fiddling while the whole fucking species starts to burn. So it's actually kind of literal.
I don't feel like it's everybody's go and die kind of thing. I think it's like talking about how corrupt everything is.
No, but isn't that the reason why Arnold would want to have the hosts like be more human? Like it makes sense, right? If the human race is going to die, if they're all doomed in some respect, you're going to need someone to take it over, right?
I feel like it's more feeling that power of God and of being a creator and having a child of your own, because obviously Arnold ended up losing.
Well, there's that too, but
I don't think that there's a plague. I disagree with you on this.
so why would he
respect.
say that? The whole fucking species is gonna burn.
Because he's drunk. Don't you chat shit when you're drunk?
Nothing is ever an accident. They have to, like, when they say stuff like that, it has to mean something. And it makes sense to me. I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see it down the line. But it makes sense to me that there's something that is going to destroy the human race. I mean, we also had William, Ed Harris's character, say something like judgment has come and he wants to kind of reverse the verdict or something. I don't know. But he could have been talking about the fact that they were rebelling and killing off the creators of the park. So
I feel like that was more... The maze is not for you, part 2. Honestly.
But yeah, we'll
But
see.
we shall see.
I think there's a plague. Or if we want to get really literal, global warming. Because the species is going to burn. But yeah. What else happened in episode 2? Who else's storylines?
Well, we haven't even talked about Maeve apart from
yeah, let's talk about
and
Maeve.
Hector be fucking. So, Maeve returned at the end of last season. She was on the train and she was like, "No, I'm coming back actually. Nope, fuck you. I'm going to find my kid."
Yeah.
So she does that. And she runs into our favourite tertiary character, Sizemore. Who apparently is only moderately sizable. Because she gets him to strip. Which is the funniest fucking thing. Yes, we saw
penis, yes.
Yay! Equal opportunity penises. Sizemore is slowly becoming more and more endearing to me.
Comic relief.
The poor old bastard, he's stuck in... Oh, bless him. He's stuck as comic relief, and it's needed. It's grisly as shit.
That outfit they had him at the end of episode 2 was
God,
hilarious.
I know.
Size moderate. Size moderate would be a good name.
Size bridge. Not much of a round on you.
But yeah, we get to see more gruesome deaths when they sort of run into each other. But she spares him because obviously you spare the comic relief. You need him for shits and giggles. I mean, she probably doesn't actually need him to find her daughter, but he's amusing enough to where she can bring along her little toy.
Yeah. He's a good bit of a laugh, basically. A much needed comic relief.
Yeah.
So Maeve's group goes back into the park to try and find her daughter, and they run across Dolores's group. And Dolores is like, "Yo, come fight for your freedom." And she's like, "Well, my freedom's telling me that I'm just gonna go this way. Fuck you."
Yeah. Yeah, freedom. You're telling me what to do. Yeah, that's real free.
Yeah. Pointing out a little bit of the hypocrisy in Dolores' methods.
Yeah. It's gotta follow me or die. Yeah. And then she goes into the Confederados and she does this exact same thing. She says, "You either follow me or you're gonna die right here." So. And
then she kills them.
Yeah.
And then she gets a tech to bring them back to life.
Yeah. That, in fairness, that is a pretty neat trick. That would convince me to follow you. If you shot me and then you brought me back to life, I'd be like, cool.
Shit,
so I'm immortal.
God? What?
Get me one of those square thingies with my dead face on it.
Those square lighty thingies.
Yeah.
They look cool.
Yeah. What do you call that? What would you call it?
A Harry Potter newspaper.
Oh, okay.
Because it moves. A god book.
I don't know if that would sell.
A god
as well as the iPad. The God Pad. Yeah, there you go. The God Pad. Nice.
New from Steve Jobs.
New from Dolores and Teddy. The God Pad.
Innovation. Technology.
The God Pad.
Freedom.
From Westworld.
Death. So yeah, they managed to get the Confederados to follow them after that little party trick. Ed Harris. We haven't talked about Ed Harris.
Oh, that's right. He is on his own mission.
I was very uncomfortable because we started off with Ed Harris not having a hat.
Ah, yes.
And we discussed this last season, and the shape of his head weirds me out a little bit. It genuinely scares me a little bit. There's just something about it. It's not the right shape, you know?
It's a bit of an egghead, sort of, literally.
Yeah, but it's ridged as well. It's like a slightly cracked egghead.
That's true. I don't know. I don't really I guess you can't help but see it because it's just so reflective. But
yeah,
I don't know if
very
I'm
shiny head.
I don't know if I've really just noticed it before because he's been in a lot of movies and not all movies he was wearing a hat.
No.
I guess in previous movies his head just wasn't as prominent, or maybe the fact that it's the contrast of him wearing a hat and him not wearing a hat.
Yeah, I think that'll be it. The contrast.
Yeah. Or just maybe it's the way he's lighted. It might not be his fault. The person who's lighting him might be just I hate Ed Harris. I'm going to shine this light right on his bald fucking head.
Well, I mean, Westworld is lit pretty brightly, isn't it?
Yeah. you could just have one rogue guy though. Who Ed Harris maybe like asked him to get like a drink for him or something, and then threw the drink on his face, and then that guy like said, oh, I'm gonna get my revenge on Ed Harris. Every time he takes off his hat, it's gonna be boom, light on his forehead.
It's like USS Callister, but instead of importing people into hell, you're just shining a light on them.
Yeah.
Take that.
Yeah, just a small bit of revenge, you know.
Yeah.
But
Petty
I guarantee you, Ed Harris is sitting on his couch watching that episode saying, damn, my head looks funny. Who the hell decided to light my head that way?
I'm going to have words with that guy on set.
Yeah.
But Ed Harris's arc for the first episode was finding a hat. And god damn it, he found his hat.
Yeah. It was a very important part of the story for at least some of the viewers, like ourselves.
And then in episode 2, he runs across our old friend Discount Hugh Jackman. I can't remember his name.
And he was supposed to actually get out of whatever predicament he was in, but it's just to point out that because the park is now rogue and the hosts are just completely wild, that
they're not able to follow their programmings and subroutines and things.
They're not following the script. They've gone off script. It happens.
But then they go off to find his old gang for some reason, to go and collect some men.
Yeah. And Gus Fring shows up.
Yeah, we meet Gus Fring. I haven't seen him in anything since Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I know. I don't think he has.
I guess it takes a lot of time to reconstruct a face that's been half burnt off.
That is true.
I mean, I suppose that probably took a lot of, plastic surgery, fillers, casts, things like that. It's good to know that he's doing well.
Method, acting, more or less.
They literally blew off half of his face. That's exactly what happened.
He's just that dedicated to his craft. But then, you know what? That's why it takes guts. Like, literally, after he spent years reconstructing his face, he just blows off his head again. That's dedication. That's,
Yep.
Just a great act.
It was quite good, though. The recurring theme of, this is not for you, fuck off, Ed Harris, was brought to the forefront by all of the hosts going a little bit wild and shooting themselves in the head.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird that there's these two conflicting sort of creators, and they both have different desires for the host. So it's hard to kind of figure out what's actually going on, because the hosts aren't moving under one directive. I mean, they have their free will, but they also have the influence of Arnold, who's influenced Dolores, but they also have Ford's whatever influence he has. I don't know what he wanted for the host, but
chaos.
Yeah. I mean, so there's his sort of quest that he's put into play. So, and I guess Ed Harris is gonna figure that shit out. But we also find out that he's looking for a weapon that he had built in Westworld.
Any ideas what that could be?
I don't know. It's just maybe it's just a gun with extra cheats on it. It's
super duper god mode.
Yeah, I have one of those in Fallout where right at the beginning of Vault 111, there's a gun right on the desk, and it just it's a one-shotter, it's a one-hitter.
You cheat.
It can pop off death claws in one shot. Well, the reason I modded it for myself is because, one, the violence part bores me of the game, but also I wanted to build a sort of a one-hit death kind of game. So if I get hit, I die, and I could do that by just making my stats weak, right? Never building up my health, and then never putting on really strong armor. And then if I hit them, they die. So I wanted to do a one-shot kill game, and so basically I made a weapon for myself. So I was basically just like William, only I didn't hide my weapon. I put it right at the start of the game. But yeah. So maybe it's one of those. Maybe it's a gun that one-shot kills everything.
Plus, William kind of likes the violence, whereas you're doing it to avoid violence.
Yeah, that's true. But, you could possibly do that. Maybe you have a gun with, magic bullets, some kind of, EMP thing that just, destroys, the programming of the host. I don't know. I'm thinking too much like a video game, but yeah.
You're thinking too much like the pro game designer that you are.
But yeah, what do you think it is?
I think that it's a giant swab that has the remnants of all of the penises that have been in the hosts.
It's just porn that's just gonna shock people to
it's
death.
just a big old stash.
That's why he has to have it hidden. He doesn't want people to know about his own personal DNA swab.
Like, nobody can see this.
Nobody gets to know my kinks. Everybody else's kinks is good. It's basically what Mark Zuckerberg has in his basement.
Yeah.
His own Facebook browsing history.
Just rows and rows and rows of... Ooh, he just loves that data, man.
Yeah.
Loves it.
That could be what it is, right? I mean, when we talk about a weapon, right? A weapon to destroy the human race, right?
Yeah.
What better weapon than the human race's browsing history?
That would just make me in shame.
Basically, they would be able to control everyone because it's like, hey, I know you fucking, did this. See, that's why it's best to kind of just be open about your kinks.
Yeah.
Because Facebook knows your kinks, the FBI knows your kinks. You might as well just tell everyone, so then it's not as shock.
Wear them loud and proud.
Yeah.
Everywhere. All over.
So yeah, I think that's probably what it is. I didn't actually put any thought to it, but now that you mention it, it is probably
It's clearly porn.
Yeah, it's just browsing history.
Yeah.
It's definitely a weapon in that sense to kind of fuck with the human race.
And it ties in with the whole themes of privacy and
Yeah.
agency and things, you know?
It's very
He's
topical.
wanting to control people like he controls the hosts.
Ah, there you go.
He's obsessed with control.
So yeah, that sort of sums up episode 1 and 2. Is there anything else that we missed that we didn't go over?
Probably. But I just have to say, I'm really excited. I am so fucking hyped. I love this series so much.
Yeah, it's still good. Like, I don't think it resembles season 1 at all. Like, just the vibe and just the way it was presented, because you had this whole like sort of fantasy park, and there was like the androids weren't fully self-aware yet, so it was like a different kind of story. It was like the story of
it's like a complete genre shift.
Yeah. But I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily.
No.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like good to get off like the old shit and then try something new, because otherwise it gets a little too repetitive or not as good as the original. So I like that they're kind of going with the genre shift. I think maybe even in season 3, maybe they're going to move out of the park entirely. Who knows? Maybe we'll have Dolores in like the fucking real world doing her shit.
Yeah.
We don't know. But yeah.
It's fucking shit. I'm expecting to see some of the other parks. We got the little hint with like the dead tiger.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to see the other parks.
Yeah, we also got a picture of the tiger at the preview at the end of episode 2. Tiger in the grass.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I love this show so much.
I hope the tiger talks. That would be weird.
Hello.
That different kind of thing. Disney show.
Hello, I am a tiger.
Yeah.
How are you?
Is that what
That's
a tiger sounds like?
That's exactly what a tiger sounds like.
So if I go to the zoo and a tiger just growls, "Bleh," I'll be like, that's not how a tiger sounds like. A tiger has a specific accent.
Hello.
Yes.
Oh, before we go, I need to read you a poem.
Oh, okay.
Give me a second.
What is this special occasion that allows you to read this poem?
We'll just read it out to you and then you will have to guess the answer. I'm a wonderful thing, a joy to women, to neighbours useful. I injure no one who lives in the village save only my slayer. I stand up high and steep over the bed. Underneath I'm shaggy. Sometimes ventures a young and nubile peasant's daughter, a proud maiden, to lay a tight hold on me. She seizes me, red, plunders my head, fixes on me fast, feels straight away what meeting me means when she thus approaches. A curly-haired woman, wet is that eye. What is it?
I feel like the answer has been spoken many times on lore-friendly podcasts.
It has not.
So we aren't talking about dicks.
Well, the answer's onion. But there is a very specific genre of Anglo-Saxon riddles that are basically double entendres. And this is why I have decided to change my essay. At the last minute, with less than a month to go.
Sexual innuendo.
Yep. It's innuendo and interpretation. Overt and covert sexual humour in Anglo-Saxon literature.
That's always the thing. It's always just misdirection, I guess. Like, you make it sound as sexual as possible, but hey, you pervert, I was talking about an onion.
How have I not talked about dick jokes in the 5 years of doing this degree? Other people are talking about, like, miscarriages and stuff. They're talking about battle themes and injuries, and I'm like, nah, I'm going to talk about dicks.
Yeah, write what you know.
Exactly. I'm very experienced with dick jokes. So I will let you know how this one comes out. It's gonna be
Comes
great.
out of its shell.
Peeks its head out.
Peel back the layer of onion.
Onions have layers. I haven't seen Shrek in a while. That was terrible. I'm sorry. On that note.
All right. That's it for this episode of Lore Friendly.
See you next week, hopefully. Goodbye.
Maybe.
Goodbye.